All right, welcome, systems integration test engineers. If you're new around here, think of this as your hands-on workshop for a skill you are absolutely going to use every single day. So let's jump right in and start mastering local IPMI commands.
So let's start with the big one, the fundamental question you're going to face all the time. You're standing in front of this complex system, and you need to know with total confidence, is this thing healthy? How do you actually prove it?
Well, the answer to that question is your core mission, IPMI validation. See, by really getting a handle on these local IPMI commands, you're going to be able to validate those super important communication pathways that keep our systems in check. This is, without a doubt, a foundational skill for everything else you do.
And let's be super clear about this. This isn't just some task you check off a list. Your job is to make sure that the link between the Bluefield ARM, that's our data processing unit, and the baseboard management controller, the BMC, is absolutely rock solid. That validation, it's the bedrock of a healthy platform. The best way to picture all this communication is not as a one-way street where one thing just barks orders. Instead, think of it like a continuous two-way conversation with information constantly flowing back and forth between these two key players.
And, every good conversation needs a clear line to talk on, right? Well, that's where the Intelligent Platform Management Bus, or IPMB for short, comes in. It's basically the digital highway that connects the Bluefield ARM and the BMC. It's what gives them that clear path to talk to each other.
So, let's break down the two sides of this conversation. On one side, you've got the BMC. Think of it as the primary manager. Its main purpose in life is to ask for and pull data from Bluefield. Then, on the other side, you have the Bluefield ARM. It's acting as the health monitor, sending out its own requests to double-check things like sensor data from the BMC. Okay, first up, let's dive into the commands you'll be using when the BMC needs to get information from the Bluefield software layer. This is probably the direction of communication you'll see most often.
Now, the commands the BMC uses really fall into two main buckets. You've got your generic IPMI commands, which are pretty much standard across the industry for basic hardware stuff. But then, and this is the cool part, you have the NVIDIA OEM commands. These are our specific custom-built commands that give you way more detailed, fine-tuned control over the platform.
So where do you find all these special commands? Your absolute go-to resource, your playbook for all of this, is the NVIDIA Bluefield BMC Software User Manual. I'm serious, this document is going to be your new best friend. It has the complete list of everything you'll need. All right, time to flip the script. Let's look at the other side of that conversation. What happens when the Bluefield ARM is the one that needs to ask the BMC for something?
So why would you do this? It's simple. This is your direct line for checking on the system's health in real time. If you need to know a temperature or check a fan speed or get any other sensor reading, you'll do it right from the Bluefield console by sending a query straight to the BMC. And the process itself is incredibly straightforward. It's really just three simple steps. First, you get into the Bluefield console. Second, you use this fantastic little utility called ipmitool. And third, you just tell it exactly what piece of information you want to get from the BMC. And in practice, what does that look like? It's as clean as it gets. You just type ipmitool followed by whatever specific command you need to run. It's such a simple, elegant tool, but wow, is it powerful. You are going to be using this constantly.
So there you have it. That's the foundation of how this whole critical two-way communication channel works. When you break it down like that, it's not so complicated, is it?
You now get the why, we're validating system integrity, and you get the how, those two different ways that the BMC and Bluefield talk to each other. You know what happens when the BMC asks for data, and you know how to make Bluefield ask for all those important sensor readings.
But listen, we've really only just scratched the surface. That user manual we talked about, it's got hundreds of commands in it. Every single one is a new tool for you to diagnose and validate our systems. So the real question I have for you is, which one are you going to explore first?